Hi everyone, it's Rabbi Dr. Jack Cohen with the Dating and Shalom Bayis series. I hope everything is well with you and that you're seeing hatzlacha and success in your dating. If not, I'm here to help. So if you need help from anywhere in the world in dating, or tonight we're going to be discussing dating resumes and how to write them. You'd like for me to help you write one and put one together for you, or analyze your current relationship or how to get into one. You need help getting matched, or you'd like help in Shalom Bayis in any way. You know, matchmakers read thousands of profiles and it's a real challenge to get yours to stand out. Obviously, there's so many out there. It's also difficult to differentiate your unique qualities from the multitude of those searching from their soulmate. Well, today we're going to examine someone's real dating profile. And we're going to just go through some pointers here to show you what she did right and what she did not right. So this way, what can we learn from her? The most important thing of this young woman's profile is that she clearly knows herself and understands what she is looking for. And the more you know yourself and the better and more clearly defined you can determine who and what you're looking for, the better it is for you and the more successful you'll be. That doesn't necessarily mean you'll always get what you want, but you'll be better equipped to find people who are like-minded and have more positive dating experience until you meet Mr. and Mrs. Right. Okay, so in her profile, the young lady writes a bit about me. If there was a snowstorm and I had to be stuck in one store, it'd be a tough call between Michael's Arts store or Barnes & Noble bookstore. Her first sentence hooks the reader. If there was a snowstorm, is a very interesting way to begin a profile. If your profile's first line doesn't have a hook, someone may not even bother reading it. So make your first line a good one. You can start with "I once" and add an interesting story, or share a fun fact about yourself to entice the reader to read on. So you want to have a hook to start with. She writes next, "I love doing creative things like sewing and knitting, as well as learning about life and people. My favorite historical figures or historical heroines were Sarah Schneer, who started the Beis Yaakov movement that saved Judaism in the last 100 years from collapse, and Eleanor Roosevelt, who was the wife of FDR, the former president of the United States, for her desire to want to improve the world and make it a better, happier place." Commentary. These sentences could have been just generic information. However, because she defined what she meant, we're not left guessing what creative things she likes or why she values certain role models. We are crystal clear about her preferences, and we've learned about her value system as well, which is extremely helpful. She further writes, "I love to travel and explore the world, meet different types of people, and experience different cultures. Friends and family are important to me, and I try to bring joy as much as possible to other people's lives. I love a good book that delves deeply into the human experience, and I love learning new things every day." Commentary. She doesn't just say what she loves a good book. That's not enough. She defines what she means. A good book is one that delves deeply into the human experience. That's powerful. Now we get it. Further, she writes, "I enjoy a good intellectually stimulating conversation, discussing the meaning of life, but also have practical side to me that values a good work ethic and devotion to a higher cause. I can usually be found doing yoga, swimming, or traveling through the city or baking up something yummy." Commentary. She also writes, "I like to meet someone who's kind, honest, positive, mature, and dependable. Someone who I can talk to about real things, but also enjoys life with a sense of humor." Again, those beautifully clarifying comments. She writes, "Someone who has his priorities properly aligned and strives to live by them." She could have ended the sentence after the word aligned, but she made a great choice by adding "strives to live by them." That's a golden nugget of information, ladies and gentlemen. Many people have their priorities aligned, but not all strive to live by them. Some only talk about them. They talk the talk, but they don't walk the walk. We now understand she's looking for a man who takes action and acts on what he believes. Religiously, she says, "I would probably say I'm modern Orthodox, Shomer Shabbat and keep kosher. I like to learn, I like to daven and pray. I say berachot, blessings, when I remember. Most of all, I strive to have good midos, good character traits. This is the most important thing to me, both in myself and in my future husband." I like that she's not afraid to be honest, we say. She says that she tries to learn, pray, and say blessings when she remembers. And then she writes the following. "These are the following 3 important qualities that are important to me. That the man should be kind and a mensch. A really good person who people are like. Someone whose values I strive to emulate. Someone who would like to live the kind of life I would like to live. 2, someone who has his act together, educated, has a solid profession, and knows where he wants to go in life." How many times girls have asked me, "Dr. Cohen, find me a guy who's going somewhere in life, who knows where he's headed." And last, deep. I want someone who's deep, that I can have an intellectual discussion with about life, who questions things, who can have a real honest, open conversation. In all 3 qualities that she listed, she's not only listing a trait, but she defined exactly what she's looking for. And then she writes qualities that are not fitting to me. I don't want a guy who's sarcastic or cynical, that says jokes a lot of the time that he thinks are funny, but I think they're insulting and mean or insensitive. Another quality that I'm not interested in or is not acceptable to me is a guy who's stubborn or inflexible. That means unwillingness to change or adapt and grow. And I always tell girls, watch out for a guy who's stubborn or has anger issues. And lastly, I'm also on the lookout, and I don't want a person who has a quality of being overly critical, because that's acidic to a long-term relationship. Someone who notices bad over good, doesn't recognize or acknowledge good things. Some people would write, I don't want someone who, by writing qualities that are not fitting for me, this young lady, she says the same thing in a palatable way. It's like in our Torah, this week's parsha actually was Noah. It talks about Noah bringing into the ark all animals that were not kosher. It doesn't say that were tameh or defiled. It says that lo tahar, that were not pure. The Torah goes out of its way to use language which is soft and kind and not so harsh. And this lady writes in a very soft, gentle fashion by getting her point across. So these are some interesting things. What's the long and short of this? What's the summary? What's the takeaway from this? Try to put some thought into your dating resume. Try to give the reader an idea of who you are. Try to open with a hook that gives something about you. Try to define clearly who you are, what your goals are, and give some examples. Maybe a short little cute story about yourself. And try to make it clear what you're looking for and what are the values and goals and character traits you want in that person. And hopefully with God's help, you'll meet that person very, very soon. Thank you and have a wonderful day.